Yeah, I mean, he's been huge. He's been able to share his, minor league war stories of, basically what he went through in the minor leagues in the 90s. But, also he's been able to get me excited just telling me basically, all these teammates that he's had that end up being big leaguers and stuff. So that's, even if I don't end up making it there, like at least I'll be able to have those experiences that he has.
All right, guys, welcome into another episode of To The Show We Go Baseball podcast. Today's episode, we're dipping into the Chicago Cubs organization. We got Cole Mathis. And if you're not too familiar with Cole, he was part of the 2024 draft class. And he just came out of college at Charleston. And Cole, I like to kind of give a little layup, I guess, to start these off. But how has the offseason been treating you so far?
Yeah, it's been good. Just a bunch of rehab. Just having Tommy John surgery a couple months ago. So, just really just, a lot of time to kind of just figure out what I want to do outside of the baseball world. But I've been enjoying it so far.
And I did want to ask about the surgery. Obviously, I know that's probably not like the most fun thing to talk about for you. But obviously, you get drafted, you had the surgery a little after the draft. Can you just go through, I guess, leading up to knowing you had to get surgery and I guess that whole process for you?
So I actually got hurt back in February during the college season. So basically just went the whole season, just DHing and playing a little first. And then went into the draft knowing that, whoever selected me, I was going to have to get surgery most likely. So got drafted, made it to the complex, and then we tried to rehab it a little, and at least the hitting was okay, but we were trying to work up the throwing to be able to play position every day, and we just couldn't get to that point. So just decided to have surgery, and actually selected a good time, basically get to have the whole off season to rehab it. So,
and I will say I saw you had a heck of a 2024. So you got married, you got drafted, and the surgery. Like you had 3 pretty major life events happen. I think back to back to back.
Yeah.
Were you a little exhausted after everything? Holy cow.
Yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed every bit. It's always fun. Just getting to experience a bunch of different things, especially all at once. So.
Yeah, I just got married a month ago, and that alone drained just me to a T, man. I couldn't even imagine having to go under the knife and get drafted and just everything all in one. Yeah. So a lot of things happened in 1 year, but so I don't know if you had saw on MLB Network whenever you did get drafted, a lot of the guys at the draft were surprised that you were announced as a third baseman, but I guess you just kind of alluded to, you got hurt, so you played a lot of first. So was that whenever the Cubs selected you, was that one of the things once you're back, are you going to be playing third base?
Yeah. So the plan is to work up to third base and then kind of just be ready to go at either corner position. So, but okay. The plan is for sure third base, and then I have a first base background. If I need to be over there.
And obviously, you did a little bit of both in college. You pitched a little, and then you played the field. How hard of a decision was it, I guess, to stop pitching?
It was pretty tough. Basically it's one of those things where you see where your future's leading, and you just have to make a decision based off that. Definitely hard to let pitching go, but just gives me a chance to, just focus on one side that I've never got to really do. And so just get a chance to see how good I can be at just hitting. So.
And so I'm going a little all over the place here, so bear with me. But take me back to college. Obviously, you went to college at Charleston, and I know that's not too far from where you call home. But what made you decide on college at Charleston?
I actually ended up committing my sophomore year of high school, and so just went to a camp there. The campus was beautiful. It was really nice. And everything there just seemed just that, even though it was a big city, it had that small college feel of basically what I was used to is just, class sizes are 30 or 40. So yeah, basically the draw was, being able to two-way. And so, yeah, that was the biggest thing, is just being able to hit and pitch, especially at a smaller school. Big thing that my dad harped on me was just being able to have the chance to play early, rather, go to play your chances at a Power Five and may not play to your junior year or something like that. So we were confident that I would be able to make an impact early, and so that definitely led to that decision there.
You brought up your dad there, and I saw he played in Cleveland's organization back in the day. And how big of an influence was he on your playing career? And I guess how was he to be able to pick his brain, I guess, as you were going through, picking a college and getting to pro ball?
Yeah, he's been huge. Since he was a pitcher, he's definitely had the arm to long toss or throw BP anytime. And so, yeah, I think as I'm getting older, I'm starting to figure out that the fact that he was a pitcher, he was able to, throw fastball, curveball, changeup, all the pitches in BP, which is kind of probably led to my ability to, pick up spin, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, he's been huge. He's been able to share his, minor league war stories of, basically what he went through in the minor leagues in the 90s. But, also he's been able to get me excited, just telling me all these teammates that he's had that end up being big leaguers and stuff. So that's, even if I don't end up making it there, like at least I'll be able to have those experiences that he has, as far as, just knowing people that end up being big league all-stars and stuff like that.
Yeah, obviously since the I guess the minor league, I guess the playing conditions and all that, the living conditions and all that got better. I'm sure he has quite a few stories from when he was in minor leagues. I know it was very different than what they experience now. I'm sure you've definitely heard some things.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's kind of funny, the stuff that he says, and then now that it's a lot better, it's kind of like, I try to tell him, what we have, and then he'll tell me, how he, had roommate. He actually got married in college too, so he was, having a roommate while being married, and all of that stuff. So
yeah,
sure, that was interesting.
I sometimes when I hear the stories, I'm like, I don't even know how that was legal. Like some of that stuff, like it's insane. That was literally even just like as of like 5-6 years ago, there was things like that happening. Just craziness in the minors. But I got one more college related question here, because it's going to be from that same clip that I saw on your draft day. And I heard a pretty unique, I guess, thing about you is the guys on MLB Network were saying that you had the chance to be the best player drafted out of the College of Charleston since Brett Gardner. Is that kind of cool to hear? Obviously, a name like Brett Gardner, I feel like everybody knows, had a big, long career in the big leagues. I guess, what was that like, I guess, hearing that from, I guess, the guys at MLB Network?
Yeah, I mean, it really was a cool feeling to have that. Even though just going to Charleston, we talked about Brett Gardner, like we got like a big sign on our outfield wall of him. So, even though he went to school there, we didn't know when he was there. So it's really cool to just, hopefully if I can end up having, just a type of career that he had, just knowing that the way that the legacy that he left behind, it's just really cool to be in that same conversation as him.
And so take me to draft day. I know you kind of touched on it a little bit, but did you know it was going to be the Cubs all along?
No, they kind of came in at the last minute. It was a big surprise, but yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where, you go in, people tell you, you never know until that pick. And it was one of those things where, you don't really know until it happens. And yeah, just a few picks before they made the call. And so we were able to prepare about 5 minutes before, but it was just really, really cool. And, just having a bunch of friends and family over celebrating that. So.
And I did take a peek at your Instagram. I saw that you did get a chance to go visit Wrigley and I guess kind of see Chicago a little bit. Was that the first time you'd been there? And I guess how was that experience after the draft, getting to see the city?
Yeah, it was really cool. Yeah, that was my first time really out of the excluding the college baseball travel. Really, first time out of the Southeast. And so yeah, just seeing somewhere as historic as Wrigley Field was really cool to see, especially now that I have a chance to be able to see myself playing there in the future. Is just it was really cool to see that, and then plus Chicago as a city was just really cool with all the architecture and just how big of a city it actually is.
Speaking of traveling, and you'd kind of mentioned it along your college career, you get to see a lot of new places, and I want to ask you because me and Chris have some ties to Massachusetts, and you obviously spent some time on the Cape in the Cape League. Can you describe your experience on the Cape? Like, did you enjoy it? I'm always curious about a guy that's grew up in the South and may not have ever been to Massachusetts or Cape Cod or anything, and going there for the first time and going through that experience. Like, I guess how was it for you?
Yeah, I mean, I loved it. It was probably the best summer I've had just playing baseball. It almost felt like pro ball. You just basically woke up every day. And just you have a game. So it felt really cool. And yeah, just being from the South, like, you hear about the North and just stuff like that about, certain things that you can and can't say or stuff. But it was really cool being in the Cape. Like one of the first days I heard country music playing. And so that was almost like one of the things that, I guess people say they don't play country music or whatever, but it was really, really cool to, just be in like a completely different environment, but still feel kind of at home, especially on the Cape. A bunch of those smaller cities that just make you feel at home. So,
Yeah, what was Chris? You might need to help me out with this. What was the movie, the Freddie Prince movie that he was playing Cape League baseball? This one,
Summer Catch. Is that it?
I think so.
No, yeah, Fever Pitch was the Sox one.
Yeah.
Hang on.
I think it's Summer Catch. I think it is. It's Freddie Prince.
Yep.
Me and the wife watched it like not that long ago because she was, kind of intrigued by the whole summer league thing. And she's like, that's incredible. Like they just like go play games during the day. They go out to like the bars on the Cape and like go drink. And there's all these like rich, like kids around, like hanging out at their parents' house. But was it anything? Well, I guess what was your experience like off the field in the Cape? I know you kind of mentioned like hearing the music and everything, but did you like the food scene? Did you like, hanging out by the beach? Like what were some of your favorite things?
Yeah. So actually, like a week after leaving the Cape, I had watched the movie before, but then I watched it again, just, have it fresh on my mind. And it was actually cool, basically how accurate it was. Just talking about, like you were saying, like a bunch of, just, what am I trying to say? The atmosphere overall of like the movie was really kind of spot on. But yeah, outside the field, it was almost like they kind of described it and they like let us know before, like it was a lot of older population around that area. So basically, if you're in your young 20s, people just assumed that you were there to play baseball. And so that was kind of like what we got. People would come up and ask like, are you here to play this summer? And they'd kind of like, no, especially if I played for Katuitt. So if I wore anything, Katuitt Kettleers, anything like that, people would come and talk to me, ask me where I'm from and stuff like that. So it was really, off the field, they almost treated you like you were a celebrity just because of the deep historic roots there that, they've seen so many people come through there and end up being, big MLB superstars. So.
Oh yeah, the names that go through there every single year, it's incredible, and it's definitely something that if you've never been to the Cape or to Massachusetts or anything, obviously the summer is the only time to go because the winter is brutal there. But the baseball is fantastic. So, Chris, I'm sorry if I'm just hogging the mic here. I don't. You can always butt in.
I was gonna say, like, you put up some pretty big home run numbers while you were playing down on the Cape. for people who might not be too familiar with you, obviously Cubs fans would be familiar because you just get drafted and things like that. But what would you kind of describe as like your offensive approach? Are you more of a power hitter? Are you more, throw it into the gap? What kind of hitter would you say that you are?
Yeah, I've always described myself and really tried to be contact first. And basically just instead of trying to have power, just, the barrel accuracy, just try to hit it harder by catching it, on the big part of the barrel. And so that's really always been my approach, is basically hit what I can hit and don't swing it what I can't. And don't try to make too much of something that's not there.
So I'm gonna switch lanes on you again. I got a question. So obviously, in today's day and age in baseball, it's a very analytically driven. I think league going forward. A lot of organizations are starting to embrace the analytics. They got a bunch of guys in the front office that just do that all day. I saw you were majoring in mathematics in college. Is that something that you, I guess, when it comes to baseball, is that something that interests you in knowing like all the advanced stats and I guess just more behind the scenes that the casual fan probably doesn't really pay attention to?
Yeah, I've always been, one of those like big on statistics, reading box scores, stuff like that. And then, yeah, especially as the game's kind of developed in this analytical game. Yeah, I've definitely enjoyed, trying to learn all the different metrics and stuff like that. So now in pro ball, they have it everywhere, your exit velos, even for pitchers, spin rate, I don't even know, every different, angle of your wrist. And especially with all the first like week here, we had some exposure to like, the pressure plates in the batter's box and stuff like that. So now they have even more metrics. So yeah, I've always been kind of a nerd with that, as far as, just wanting to learn all the numbers behind, what you don't see to the blind eye. So
when did you learn in life that you were interested in, I guess, just math? And was that something that you chose once you just got to college, or I'm assuming you knew probably ahead of time?
Yeah, I'd probably say, even in elementary school, I've always been good at math. And that's something that like my mom always brags about, is, me having good math scores all throughout middle school and even into high school. So I've always wanted to do something with math. I don't really know what that's going to be, but hopefully, something around baseball would be pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, it's always been something I've enjoyed. So,
something I enjoy looking up is a lot of guys that do go on to pro ball. Obviously, whenever you're playing college ball, usually the team has, your player page and has like the bio and all that. And your player page at College Charleston said you plan to become a high school math teacher and coach baseball. Was that going to be the plan B, I guess, if the baseball thing never worked out?
Yeah, I've always wanted to be a coach. I think it's more of like my dad being my coach growing up. So that's kind of the way that I see myself going, is basically, the easiest way I figured out to coach is just teach somewhere in high school or middle school or something like that. And, you can also coach. So, yeah, I mean, coaching to me is something that, a lot of people, even after they're done playing sports, like they benefit a lot from a good coach growing up. So I've always wanted to be that person for somebody, as many coaches have been for me.
Yeah, it's I feel like I don't know how I'd be able to be a teacher. I think in today's age, I think it'd be pretty tough. I was just thinking back to even when I was in high school. I'm like, man, we gave it to those teachers sometime, but I'm just like, they're national treasures. It was teachers do they deserve to be paid way more than what they get for the job that they do. But all right, so I'm going a little off the field here, Chris. Unless you got anything before I switch to off the field things.
We switch it up.
Okay. Well, I know you're rehabbing right now, so I know this answer might be a little different. But what do you like to do in your free time?
Yeah, I've always been a big gamer. MLB The Show, Fortnite, really anything on the PlayStation, Xbox, whatever. But as I've had more free time, me and my wife, I've enjoyed just traveling, really just seeing different places we've never seen before. Especially neither of us have been out west. Really, this is a big chance for us to just see different areas. We went up and saw the Grand Canyon, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, I think traveling is probably my big thing right now as far as seeing that. It's something that many people you don't get to do, so you might as well take advantage of when you can.
So, what states are up next on the list?
Ooh, I'm not sure, but I don't know. I think San Diego is one of those cities that we definitely want to go visit, especially since it's so close. And then people around here keep telling us about like Flagstaff and Sedona. We're in Phoenix. It's like a valley where snow never happens, but you just go like an hour and a half, 2 hours north, and it looks like just snowy mountains up there. So it's just really cool that it's that close, especially being from South Georgia. We don't really get snow, so
yeah, it's
cool to see that.
Yeah, I feel like very lucky. Very, very lucky. Especially out in Arizona too. It's I feel like I would just melt away out there.
Right.
I'm not used. I grew up in St. Louis area, so I mean I'm used to a little bit of heat, but it'll quickly go down out there, man. You'll melt. Okay, so the video games checks out. Every guy that we've had on this podcast this offseason has gave me two answers. They're playing video games or they're golfing. Did you ever get in on the golf trend?
Not really. My dad is one of those parents that he always told me it would mess up my swing. So
okay.
I never really got into it. And then by the time, a bunch of my friends were golfing, I didn't really, didn't want to embarrass myself as bad as I would be. I've gone to Top Golf a couple of times and it hasn't been pretty. So don't know if I'd probably waste more balls than, spend more time going and finding balls than actually playing. So
yeah, I don't know if it's just like a pitcher thing or if it's because I feel like almost every single pitcher golfs.
Yeah, pitchers love to golf.
Yeah, and I guess I never really thought about that if if you're a position player out there and you're taking swings, like it could kind of mess with something. I guess I kind of can see that. But for pitchers, I feel like it's you don't really it's not really anything that messes with them. So it's interesting. I never really thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I want to transition. I like to joke. This is a little bit of a food podcast. I have asked this question to every single person that's come on the show, and you are a Georgia boy. So I have a lot of faith in you on this answer from me because I feel like a lot of Georgia guys I get on here, they give me the correct answer here. So I have a fast food fried chicken place that is near and dear to my heart. So no pressure on this, but you're hungry for lunch one day and you want fast food fried chicken and every single option is available for the choosing. Where are you going?
Definitely probably Chick-fil-A. That's like definitely the go-to, either that and if it's Sunday, then Zaxby's.
Okay. I was aiming for Zaxby's on that one.
Yeah.
I need a sound like board so that way when they mention Zaxby's, I can.
Yeah, they said Chick-fil-A first, but
I didn't realize how much I liked Zaxby's until being out here in Arizona. There's not any Zaxby's, and so I went home and had Zaxby's, and I realized how much I like it. But yeah, Chick-fil-A's always been my number one. So
okay. So that leads me into the next question here, because sometimes these can overlap. So let's just take you back to college on some days when you knew that you were gonna pitch or whatever. What were you eating? Like, what was your go-to pregame meal?
Yeah, I think Chick-fil-A is definitely up there. On game days, get like grilled chicken sandwich. Yeah, I don't know. We were as a school, we were big on Jersey Mike's.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, mix in like a Jersey Mike's sub pregame.
What's your what's your go-to Jersey Mike sub?
It's the chicken bacon ranch.
Good man. Good.
Yeah, so I prefer the hot subs over the cold subs. So yeah.
I always flip flop, but the chicken bacon ranch, you can never go wrong.
Right, yeah.
My wife jokes with me that if it's on a menu and we're going somewhere, like she knows what I'm getting. So you can never go wrong. It's always good. Like
Right.
it's just nothing bad about it. But Jersey Mike's is near and dear to my heart. I absolutely love that chain. That also brings me to another question. This is my last food one. And Chris, it's not the sauces. I'm retiring that question because it's a bad question, I think. If you had to give me your Mount Rushmore of chains, like restaurant chains, they can be sit down or fast food,
Okay.
and you just had to give me 4, what would those 4 be?
I think let's see, Texas Roadhouse.
Yes, sir.
I always loved O'Charlie's as a kid.
The place with the free samples, like at the malls.
No,
or am I thinking of the wrong place?
No, O'Charlie's. I don't know. They were like a sit down place around me. I don't know if it was like a Southern thing. I don't know. A bunch of them are closing down though. But
okay. R.I.P. Man, if that's the case.
I don't know. Let's see. I think Chick-fil-A, and then get some pizza on there. I'll have to go Papa John's.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not bad. We just got, me and my wife got Papa John's not too long ago. I know that's like kind of a sin, I guess, because we're always trying to do like the small business thing, where we're trying to just go to a local shop. But we got the New York slice well done, and it was fantastic. I don't know if you've ever had like their New York style.
I haven't.
Oh, it's fantastic. You got to try that sometime. But,
okay.
All right. Well, that's all the food questions I had. I like to dabble in that a little bit because I'm a big food guy, and I know everybody else loves food. Unless you're just on like strict diets like Blaze Jordan that we had on here. But all right, Chris, do you got any one-offs, randoms here? I got a few left in the tank, baseball related.
I'll ask, like I do with every guy that we have on the podcast. I need to know what the most embarrassing song is that you have on your playlist.
Ooh, I don't. Let me see if I've got.
Everybody's got one.
I think, I don't know. I think probably mine, maybe like A Million Reasons by Lady Gaga.
That's a good one, though.
I don't know.
That's
it's
a
like,
solid one.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll accept that answer.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's probably. I mean, mix in some Lady Gaga like in there. Yeah, I'm not a big pregame music listener, but that's probably in there.
Do you have any? I know Andrew asked about like the food and stuff, but are you superstitious? Are there things you do every game day that you have to do all the time, or you just kind of go about your day as normal?
Maybe not too much superstition. I can't think of any right off the top of my head, but I do have some like, certain routines where I have to do certain things like in order. I'd probably say like, yeah, I'd probably say one of my big superstitions is like the order that I put on like my batting gloves, elbow guard, shin guard, stuff like that. And so basically like what I do is like, for the day, like the first at bat, I'll put it on a certain way, and if I get a hit, I have to remember like what way I put it on. If I start getting out a bunch, I'll just switch it up. But that's probably like the big one is like the certain order I do stuff in.
What I guess whenever you do when you do get healthy and you're making your professional ball career, do you have like this is going to go along with the song thing that I was just thinking of, but what would be your walk-up song?
Yeah. This past year it was Where I Belong by Building 429. It was a good Christian song. I've always tried to have like a good Christian song as my walk-up songs. So yeah, I don't know. This year I'll definitely have to look. You know, especially with some of these parks that might have better sound systems, it might sound a little better. Find a good song that matches the sound system. So
Oh yeah, that's important. And also there's going to be probably more fans, I would assume.
right.
Just as you go up levels, obviously, you're just going to have more fans. Because I know Iowa, I know that's in the future a little bit, but Iowa can draw a crowd.
Okay.
They are very good about drawing a crowd. All right, this is a two-parter, and it's before I switch back to a couple baseball to end this thing. I need your favorite movie and TV show of all time. So one of each.
All right. Favorite movie. I think might be one of the, just like in general, just like I think maybe like either Mall Cop or Grown Ups. One of those two. I don't really know if I can pick. And then favorite TV show. I got really big over COVID into Criminal Minds, so that's probably um, my best or my favorite right there.
So big Kevin James guy. I'm
Yeah,
gathering.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Kevin
Can't go wrong
James and
there.
Adam Sandler. Yeah.
Can't go wrong. And then my second thought on the Criminal Minds. My wife loves SVU, Criminal Minds, all that stuff. She tries to watch it before we go to bed, and it's
Yeah.
like I can't go to sleep after watching some of those. They are messed up episodes after messed up episodes, and I'm just like, I don't know how people watch these before sleep, but I do like them.
Yeah. I would always end up watching it like right before bed, especially when it's like all dark, and you feel like you're starting to see things, and you're like, all right, it's time to go to bed.
Yeah, you're like, did I just hear noise? I don't know. Don't want to find out. I'm just gonna. Yeah, no, I get you. It's a problem. I kind of told her, I was like, I can't do these anymore. Like, we got to like turn on something like a Disney movie or something after that. I don't know, something.
Well, I do Family Guy. Family Guy is my background while I'm also scrolling TikTok laying in bed. It's terrible sounds.
It helps, man. It helps. Something light on the. Well, I guess it's not really light. It's kind of funny, but all right. I got a couple baseball ones, and we'll let you slide out of here. Obviously, you're in a rehab right now. What does? Well, I guess I forgot to ask this earlier, but what does? Did they give you any sort of timeline on when you are fully expected to be back to baseball activities? Because obviously, it might be a little different for you being a position player. So I was curious about that.
Yeah, we're planning on starting to hit, just starting to swing again in early January. And so with that, it'll put us on time to be like game ready by like spring training around there. So I'll be able to like play at least DH in spring training. And then I think I'm planning on starting to throw at the end of January. So that, with that, it's we can kind of map out sometime during the summer, but it will really just be kind of how it feels. But yeah, hopefully, I'll be able to go out to an affiliate in DH for the first couple months of the season, and then eventually start to work in to a position spot once I get my arm strength up.
And does that? I'm assuming that news kind of excites you a little bit because this is your very first spring training, and I know you're not fully healthy. But what kind of things are you looking forward to the most of being around, obviously, like some of the big leaguers and a lot of the other guys in the org?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to, just really just get back in the game, be able to wear a Cubs jersey, and really just start playing games. It's really been helpful to find out just how many guys have had Tommy John surgery. And so, seeing guys that have had it, even some guys even twice, just see them get back to full strength and be able to compete just like they did, if not better, is really just, got me excited. And then, so, spring training's something that people talk about, especially my first spring training. I'm really excited to just play with guys that I've been, especially the guys that I've been drafted in with. So, that'll be fun.
And I always like to end these on this question here, and I like to speak things into existence, so I just like to keep saying it until it becomes a thing. And I know other people are kind of like that. Some people are goal oriented, whatever it is. But let's say for you, let's say we fast forward a year from now, so it's November of 2025. You're officially done with the 2025 baseball season. Can you just give me like one or two things that you say you would like to speak into existence that you want to have accomplished by the end of the 2025 baseball season?
Yeah, I think the big one for me is just be able to play, I'd say third base consistently. Maybe it's not like, a measurable goal, but like, yeah, just play third base consistently, be able to show that I can do it. And then, yeah, another one, I'd probably love to hit like, I'd say 20 home runs is a goal that I'll just put out there. It's something that I want to be able to do. Being able to transition from college to pro ball, especially with a lot more games. I don't even know what all the stats are, but I think 20 home runs is good for me.
I mean, that's a heck of a season too. So, yeah. But Cole, we appreciate all your time. Obviously, we wish you the best on the rest of the rehab, and definitely looking forward to seeing you get back in that batter's box and spring training once 2025 rolls around. But like I said, we appreciate you hopping on, and thank you so much.
Oh yeah. Thank y'all. It means a lot to just be able to do this. So thank y'all.